波动拳继续开始，细致绝境，最高难度。上一期最后的时候对这个小游戏啊稍微了解一下，这次再来一下出击大师。地形还是教学，我加了个滤镜，它这个滤镜我感觉戴了之后眼睛看着有点瘆得慌。
I knew I'd make a strike player out of you yet. How about this time I tell you how to use a board's terrain to your advantage? This one's got all the different terrains you can encounter in a game of Strike. Knowing when and how to use them can mean the difference between victory and defeat. Terrain mainly affects your machine's combat power. As you know, when fighting an opponent's machine, you compare its combat power to yours. The higher your machine's combat power, the more damage you can do. So finding the right terrain is an essential strategy for overpowering your opponent. Here, I'll show you. Grab that piece to your left and move to attack my machines.
上面有显示加几加几。
Now let's take a look at your machine's combat power. Combat power is the sum of a machine's attack power and the value of the terrain it's standing on. Since your machine is attacking, it's using its 2 points of attack power. It's also standing on forest terrain with a value of 1 point. Add those together, and your machine has 3 points of combat power. My machine is standing on grassland terrain with a value of 0 points. It's also not attacking, which means their attack points aren't in play. So my combat power is 0. This means your machine can do 3 points of damage. Go ahead and test it out. There you go. Now, choosing the right terrain doesn't just improve your offense. It can also help defend your machines from attack.
抵挡
Grab
攻
your other
击。
piece and place it in front of my second machine. Since your machine is attacking, it's using its 2 points of attack power. It's standing on grassland terrain. This terrain has
数值为0，所以说只有打2点。 打2点，但敌方有2点进攻，2点防御嘛。
But they have the higher ground. They're standing on forest terrain, which is worth 1 point. This means my combat power adds up
他那
to
个滤镜
1 point.
看着有点受不了。
Now, the front of my machine is colored blue. This means that the spot you're about to attack has armor protecting it, which means my machine gets an extra point, giving it a total of 2 combat power points. If we come, you'll see that whenever you can go ahead.
我明白了，不要说了。
See? When you break a machine's defenses, you can knock it backwards. Sure, both our machines will receive 1 point of damage, but knocking my machine off that terrain makes it more vulnerable to attacks. Not only that, if my machine had been blocked from moving backwards, it would have received an extra point of damage. And if my machine had been blocked by another one of my pieces, that machine would have received damage as well.
好。
That's why breaking a machine's defenses is a great way to deal damage to several pieces at once. Useful, right? There's still one more thing I want to... Alright, as we've seen, the higher the terrain, the more it'll add to
地
your
形越
machine's
高，
combat power.
战力越强。
However, this is what we call a chasm. Only flying machines can be placed on those. But it'll take away 2 combat points if you do, so be wary. This is marsh terrain. Landing on it will take away 1 combat power point from most machines. It'll also keep your machine from moving for the rest of the turn. Here, let me show you. Grab that machine on your left. See? All you can do now is wait for your next turn to move again. Or you can overcharge your machine to get out of there. You can still attack any nearby enemies so you're not completely helpless. Well, I think that's enough yammering for me for now. Promise it'll all come in handy next time you play.
这个地形这边，我得再看一下。关于击退那个地方。
Grab that piece. Now let's take a look at your and the since it add the my machine is it's all so this go ahead and test it out. There you now grab it. Since your machine is attacking, it's using its 2 points. It's standing on grassland. This means your machine's combat power. My machine can't use their attack powers since they're defending their position. But they have the higher ground. They're standing on forest terrain, which is worth 1 point. This means my combat power adds up to 1 point. Now, the front of my machine is colored blue. This means that the spot you're about to attack has armor protecting it, which means my machine gets an extra point, giving it a total of 2 combat power points. If we compare the combat power of both machines, you'll see that you won't be able to do any damage. Whenever you're unable to top an opponent's combat power, you can still choose to attack and break their machine's defenses instead. Go ahead, try it out and see what happens. See? When you break a machine's defense,
相当的时候，战力相当的时候，会造成双方都会掉血，但守方会往回退。往回退的时候，如果后边是没有退路了，会再加深掉一点血。如果是往回退的时候，对面是有友军的话，那么撞到了那个友军也会掉血。
We can stop if you want.
明白了。还有最后一个教学。
Here for more tips? Why don't I tell you a bit more about the pieces we used to play? In a normal game, you get to choose which machines you place on the board. Each one is worth a certain number of setup points, and you can spend up to 10 assembling your army. Knowing what each machine brings to the game and building an army that matches your strategy is the key to becoming a machine strike master. When assembling your army, there are a few things to keep in mind. First and foremost, you can never have more than 4 of the same machine on the board at the same time. With that in mind, most players will choose machines based on how far they can move or how much attack power, but a real strike player will be looking at a machine's type and skills. Let's take a quick look, shall we? Pick up that machine.
上下左右再移动。
All right, let's talk about the different ways in which a machine attacks its opponents. In other words, its machine type. If you look at your notes, you'll see this machine here is a melee type. You can also tell by the shape of the base the piece stands on. A melee type machine attacks the first enemy within range, and no one else. We've seen this plenty, so just move that piece forward. Great, now grab your other machine. Looks like we've got ourselves a gunner type machine here. This means they'll only hit the farthest enemy in their attack range. Let's move that machine forward and end your turn so we can take a look at the rest of the pieces. Let's go with this piece first. This is a ram type machine. Attack an enemy with it and it'll push the piece backwards. Like this. See, now my machine has taken over your machine's spot.
往前冲了一格。
This is a great way to take the advantage away from your opponent if they have the higher ground. Looks like we have one more piece to look at. Now this is a beauty of a piece.
冲撞者。
Dash type machine. When it attacks, it'll move to the end of its attack range and damage every machine in its path, including your own. So make sure you take a good look at the board before you send it off to the races. You should also make sure it's able to finish its attack on an empty spot. Otherwise, you won't be able to attack at all. Here, I'll show you. Look, it even rotated your piece. A nifty little piece you'll definitely want in your set. If you look at your notes, you'll notice this particular machine has one of the skills I mentioned before. There's quite a few of those, and we haven't even looked at all the machine types yet. But I'm pretty sure you've got more important things to do, so I made you a list. It's got all the tips and tricks we talked about, too. I think that about does it for now, so if you want to play a real game, come back any...
画面这个亮度啊，稍微有那么一点点高，我感觉。
Time, Red. Oh, you wanna play, Red?
这游戏就是太亮了，平常游戏都是很暗，它这个是太亮。
Let's play. Your move, Red. Okay, let's see.
往上走。
Board's all yours.
Eh?
Time to make my move.
我去，直接囊死了。
You're up, Red.
"打完了。
Come up. Knocked right off the board. My turn.
坏了，
Guess luck's not on your side today, Red.
我本来是想上去的。
Good luck.
嗯，
That's it for me.
那上来就占据有利地点呗。
Time to get serious. Your turn.
反正非得选嘛。 我超载了是吧？
Time to make my move.
就每回合必须要动。
That's it for me. Single machine left? That ain't good. Well, that's done now. My turn. Your turn. Come up.
他这个移动力，
That's the game. You up for a rematch? This is gonna be fun. Time to get serious. You're up, Red. Okay, let's see. Your move, Red. Board's all yours. Just one piece left. That sure dampens the forge. You got me. Fair and square.
这就赢了。我这些东西能用了吧？为什么点了之后就无法点？
Let's do this.
还是有点晕了。丘陵，
That's it for me.
一次只能走2。
Your turn.
丘陵攻击，这应该是丘陵吧？
Time to get serious. One less piece on the board.
我去！
Your move, Red. Off the board it goes. Time to make my move. You're up, Red. That was brutal.
多点了一次，他就掉血了。他不能返回吗？撤不回。
Okay, let's see. Board's all yours. You got me down to one piece. I am impressed. I'm up.
直接踩死了。
That was brutal. Ah,
赢了。
like I lost.
最后超载虽然都掉血，但是我最终赢了之后就恢复1滴血。
go.
越来越多了。长脚兽。最多能放几个？忘了。失误者，无技能。这都一样的，但是他5滴血。
Time to make my move.
好快的速度啊！
Board's all yours. Hey, I like that piece where it was.
OK， 咬
One
死。
less piece on the board.
超赛了。
Well, that's done now. My turn. You're up, Red.
挖掘者。
Time to get serious.
他也不动啊。先弄死一个吧。
Ah, off the board he goes. Your move, Red. That was brutal. I'm up.
哇哦，4个，他有2个。挖掘者，弄他。 还有一个，胜利在望。
I got a tough fight ahead of me. Taking a risk, huh?
没弄死他吗？
Just one piece left. Oh, seriously? Now that was a game, even if I lost.
哦，又赢一局。一般挑战。这次可以选那个什么了，可以选兵种了。 一共10点儿。肯定选这种有技能的。这一个顶2个，这个好像是攻击力要更强一些，加3点。
This is gonna be fun.
唉，中倍手，我没有这个。
Time to make my move. That's it for me. Okay, let's see. Board's all yours. My turn. Your turn.
高山地形。这边没有高山。
Time to get serious.
走。
Yes!
走。会玩。
That's how you do it. Well, that's done now. One less piece on the board. Time to get serious. Ah, off the board.
互换了，这波感觉悬了。哦，他这个炮手是这么个打法的，隔一个地方。
That was brutal. Your move, Red. You're just hammering down on my pieces now. Ah, off the board it goes. Well, spark my forge. You have beaten me on every one of my boards. Now that deserves a prize, I said.
赢了，达到7点最起。
Don't be a stranger.
赢了是吧？ 结束啊。
Aloy, please have a seat.
嗯，全部打过了，
We
拜
can
拜。
always play later.
Come for that beer after all, eh? Here, sit down. Get a pint in her hand. Wasn't expecting you to swing by.
Since when do I do what's expected?
There's that spark. Fire and spit.
Fire and spit.
That's a blast from the bellows. Won't fix the forge, but at least I can forget about my troubles for a while.
Like what?
Take your pick. We got bodies to bury from the bristlebacks, the work stoppage, Olvin grating the gears about his concession decree. Hey! Weapons off the table! Don't listen to me. Nothing a cold brew and knocking some heads together can't fix eventually.
So the bristlebacks in the Daunt. Where did they come from?
That's the thing. No one rightly knows. They just showed up one day, rampaging around the valley like they exploded out of a forge. Lost some good people. But I heard talk of some vanguards trying to take them down.
Did they come through here?
Stopped by briefly for supplies. Olvind was none too pleased. Won't be able to crank it to his advantage once the bristlebacks are gone.
But how could bristlebacks and the Daunt help Olvind?
2 words. Concession decree. Since no one knows where the bristlebacks came from, Olvind has taken to blaming the Karja for him. He's hoping to dig up enough old resentments to get a strike going until the concession's signed. This is just his latest attempt. He's been trying to rile up the workers since the day he rolled into town.
And people actually believe him?
Lots of folks suffered at the hands of the Mad King during the Red Raids. Give him half a reason, they'll blame the Karja for anything.
Damn Karja slavers.
I thought you'd be back in Freeheap.
Well, after the big battle at Meridian, I went back, but realized it was running smooth. Didn't need me. Heard about the rebuilding out at Barren Light. Figured they could use another hammer. Been scraping by ever since.
You could always leave.
And go back east? Nah. I ain't one to leave a lit forge. Besides, someone's gotta be a squeaky wheel for the workers around here.
So about Olvind.
Around here, everything's about Olvind.
How'd he end up in charge?
He got here early, like a squirrel smelling a fat nut. He knew rebuilding Barren Light would need stone and timber. So he jangled purses all over Mainspring, getting investors to front claims on anything in the Daunt that might be worth a damn. Thing is, all the bankers back home know that this is Karja land, and the Sun King can revoke those claims at any time. That's why he's desperate for the magistrate to sign off on a concession decree.
This concession decree, what is it exactly? And how would it help Olvind?
It's pig diddle, that's what.
A writ that would put all Osram claims in the Daunt under Osram law, even though they're on Karja land. It would mean that any existing ore, stone, and timber claims couldn't be revoked by the Karja. No more risk, no more hesitation for investors back in the claim to pour in the shards and expand their business. And since Olvind has a stake in all those claims, it would make him richer than a smelter in a junk heap. Not to mention Chainscrape would become an Osram municipality, so he could buy enough votes to call himself an elderman. He's a sly old badger, I'll give him that. Figures if he keeps up the pressure, eventually the magistrate will sign.
Well, I have to be going. Thanks for the drink, Petra. I'm glad I stopped by.
Anytime, Flamehair.
这就完了吗？
Almost ready to go?
Why else
这个战斗这个暂时也做不了啊。
What strikes your fancy?
暂时没有意义啊。
And the others are doing better than I am.
What happened to you?
That damn mine is what happened to me. It won't be the last injury if Olvin keeps shoving those tongs into those tunnels.
What mine?
Northeast of Chain Scrape, where the river ends. I told Corvin we should stop when the first cave-in happened, but Olvin probably threatened to cut off our pay. Or worse.
How about you slow down and take me through it? You mentioned you were injured in a cave-in.
Yeah,
哪种更好一些？
a couple days ago. That's how I hurt this blasted leg. Corvin and the others were opening a new vein while I was checking on an older one. As soon as their blast hit, the tunnel I was in collapsed. Might have
冷
dodged
色
it
调、
if I
暖色
wasn't
调。
running on barely a spark of sleep. We were pushing too hard and too fast.
And you're afraid Corvind and the others might not be as lucky if it happens again.
Mm-hmm. Hit the nail right on the head.
How come Olvin's in charge? Don't these mines belong to the Karja?
Try telling Olvin that. He brought in all the backing to get them open. Might as well own them. Fire and spit. You ask him. He owns us as well.
Who's Corvind?
He's their foreman. And a damn good one. The kind that knows how to deal with management when it gets unreasonable. But Olvind... his demands go beyond unreasonable. Corvin's been doing his best to appease him. He even blamed himself for my injury when it was Olvin who ordered the extra shifts.
Sounds like a good guy.
That's why we all put up with the long hours and lousy conditions. But if the whole mine becomes unstable, I'd rather suffer.
I could check in on your...
多了一个新任务，该接的任务都接的差不多了。
That'll keep me awake.
感觉不出这个滤镜有多好。去拿那个什么锅去，大锅嘛。
See me.
也这么接吗？
Scavengers. Natives said I could find a random panel in one of their scrap piles.
对，他那个滤镜开的晃眼，太晃眼了，开了有点受不了。他这个原色是可以，虽然有点黄不拉几的。我这还是因为开了那个什么呢？开了 HDR。 如果把 HDR 关的话，应该是更黄。我把那个 HDR 关了。
Nothing up for the hunt.
关了 HDR 之后，再开这个滤镜，感觉效果还是可以的。如果再把这个滤镜再关的话，是真黄，一片黄。它不会是卡住了吧？
exploring cauldrons might teach me how to override these things.
还是原色吧，这个原色我看着不是多么伤眼。开这个开那个之后，那眼伤的太，感觉眼特别不得劲儿。就这样吧。刺杀人恢复生命值，隐身时可造成的零件伤害。关于战斗，好像是要开这个东西。战士，是够亮了。这个亮度够亮了。来呀！来呀！应该还有一个观察者才对啊。
I think I have everything I need for Mildev. Good thing, too. I could use a decent meal. Fire will make things easier.
是不是开了那个辅助瞄准了？没开。HUD 渲染。 开启之后变暗了。刚才一直没摸到，摸了半天没摸到他那个点儿。
Save the extra stock for later.
把补给品给米杜夫，那就是任务完成了。
This pigment would work well on armor.
大丰收啊！是这样好呢？
Keep this for a cook.
深水危机前往矿脉，这是哪个任务啊？能做，除了有点远之外。篝火。什么东西都没有啊！ 除了有点远之外，
Fire could hurt it.
2个挖掘者。 不是2个呢，3个。
I'll have to find a cauldron out here to learn how to override that.
太灵敏了，这眼神太好了，这家伙。哎，操！跳蚤了。 不应该的，本是。我把那个石头看成是那个啥了，看成是暗杀了。
I'll need these later for sure.
它这个距离上有点高啊。不明冲撞者。
I can grab this from my stash later.
乘骑帕电。至于吗？
Spotted. Now's my chance!
Oh, yo. Tô cheio. Hmm. 不是攻击性的，伤害太低了。啊，不能说是伤害了，是没有伤害。
Smoke. Coming from where Arnav said I'd find his crew.
还有一只。
Pouch is full, but my pack has room.
北边有个小旗儿，上边啊。
There's an old watchtower at the top of that cliff. I wonder if there's anything still inside.
上去看看，如果能上去的话。
Looks like the path up broke a long time ago. I'm gonna have to climb.
就这样爬上去吗？这么生猛啊！
I'll save this for a dyer.
哦，这边是有。 真能上来！
There we go.
讯号塔。等一下，好像有东西。
Some kind of device. The metal reflects the sun. Send a signal?
透镜。
Looks like some kind of.
能够折射光线的半球形玻璃，从恐惧峡谷东北端。
Guess I'll keep it for later.
帅。这么帅得来一下，不能那个什么呀？呵呵。哎，无法调试，在空中是无法调试。哎呀，这家伙！一下应该是打不死的，挡他好几下的。这是怕冰，弱点，抗性火和冰。不是，他不怕火，抗冰，他是玩火的，四只。 哎，都不够了呀！果然，一死是打不死他的。2级。哦呦，我去！我操！厉害！一击，呵呵呵，一击，太强了！一下就把我打死了，太强了！在他面前就是个渣渣。还有个挖掘者过来了。
Machine's weak to fire.
拉小弟了。先不和他们打了。
This must be the mine Arnav told me about. It looks like the miners are in trouble.
Not sure how many are hurt.
That looks like the foreman Arnav mentioned. I should check in with him.
和谁谈？
You good?
科文德是这矿工的队长之类的。
Arnav sent me. I'm...
Not now.
Easy. What happened?
Explosion in the mine. Water flooded the whole place. Some of my guys are still... They're still down there. I can't stop.
You've done enough. Are you hurt?
I'll live. The others. Please.
I need to know exactly what happened.
We used controlled blasts to open up new veins in the mountain. One of them must have gone wrong. I can't... I have to go.
How many are still down there? Corvand, how many?
Two, I think. 2 more.
I'll do what I can.
解救矿工啊！